Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Mary Berg and I'm a licensed psychologist, and today I'm here to talk to you about how to stay sane and emotionally well during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is an incredibly difficult time for all of us. We're overwhelmed with information and just all the negativity that we're hearing about. So I'm hearing that everyone is feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, irritable, and anxious. So I want to give you some tips and strategies today about what you can do to come out of this perhaps even a better person, and how to manage some of the negative feelings that you're more than likely going to experience. So first and foremost, information input. Input equals output. There's going to be a lot of my talk today about that. But the amount of information that you're allowing into your environment is really important, and where you're getting it from is even more important. I would say to you, just like I do all my clients, to limit the amount of information that you're allowing into your environment to just a couple times a day, and to use really only reliable sources, perhaps like those that are put out there by your state or by your county, because that's the information you really need more than anything to stay safe and to know what to do. But to avoid the sensationalized media, because that's just really going to be overwhelming and give you information that's not important to your situation. The second thing is for those of us who are now working from home, we need to keep our schedule going for ourselves. This isn't an excuse to just kind of let everything go. So I'm encouraging all my new folks who are now newly working from home to still stick by an 8-hour-a-day schedule, and to have that schedule written out at the beginning of each day so that you know hour to hour what you're going to do. Human beings always do better when they know what's expected of them. And so that means the same thing for this time. So know what you expect from yourself on a day-to-day basis and an hour-to-hour basis. Weekends are still the weekends, but your work week should still be hashed out hourly by hourly. Typically by doing this, you're going to feel more productive through your day, and you're going to feel more successful at the end of your day. Okay, the third thing to do is to engage in more positive thinking and grateful thinking. Right now, this situation is creating a lot of negative thoughts and negative energy in all of us, and that may be bringing your mood down. So I want to explain how this works. In our brains, we have lots of different chemistry and chemicals, neurotransmitters, and one of the neurotransmitters that is responsible for happiness is called dopamine. And in order for dopamine to be released, you need to have positive thinking and have some smiling activity and laughter going on in your life. The more you smile, the more you laugh, the better the dopamine is being processed in your brain, and the better you're going to feel. So if you're finding yourself thinking a lot of negative thoughts, you realize that whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So negative thinking is going to make you feel negative, and it's going to put your mood down. Positive thinking is going to elevate your mood. So if you can write down something that you're positive about today, and if you can write down something that you're grateful for today, even in this time, that's going to help elevate your mood. Smiling, like I said too, research has been done that even if you fake smile, just like that, that your brain actually releases dopamine. So find a reason to smile every single day. Find a reason to laugh. Self-care during this time is super important. I think I see a lot of stuff on the internet that people are like, oh, this is an excuse just to sit around and watch Netflix all day or binge eat and drink. Well, guess what? It's not. Life is still going on. Life is still happening. So this is not a reason to change your diet, change your exercise routine, or start drinking heavily. In fact, this is a time to do probably the opposite. We have nothing but time now to think about how we want to live our lives, what's important to us. Health is one of them. So self-care on a day-to-day basis is incredibly important. Hydration keeps inflammation down, so 60 ounces of water a day, super important. Nutrition, this is not the time to start binging and eating. If you're a low-carb person, it's not time to start eating bread again. Although we are all learning to bake a little bit of bread, that's great, but it's really not a time to just let it all go. So self-care, that includes hygiene every day, dress for success, dress for the way you would have for business, put your makeup on, put your suit on, do what you normally would have done, and get into the routine of feeling like this is still your life and that you've got control of it. I would also suggest that you decide how you want to be a better person, how you want to come out of this at the end of this. This is a time to consider how is this an opportunity for me instead of adversity. So, for instance, I have signed up for some master classes online. I wanted to do some cooking classes and also some writing classes. So I've signed up to take a few of those. I've got 3 new books that I want to read, and so I've been diving into those. So how do you want to be at the end of this? What do you want to come out of this with? Again, opportunity. You know, you've heard the saying, make lemonade out of lemons. Absolutely, this is the time to do this. Think about how you're going to be a better person because of this, a better family, a better worker. There's opportunity here, and I don't want you to come out of this quarantine or this time with any regrets. So let's talk a little bit about anxiety. How does anxiety actually how does it get created in your system? Well, there's a part of your brain, in the back of your brain, it's sort of shaped of an almond. It's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is responsible for your fight, flight, or freeze response. And that's where anxiety, happens. It's kind of like a fire alarm. When you start to worry about something or feel anxious, that fire alarm gets sounded off, and then you have all this response, this physical response, including anxiety. The best way to create anxiety in yourself is to what if. What if thinking and what ifing yourself is thinking about something in the future? What if this goes on for more than 30 days? What if my business fails? What if someone I love gets sick? What if I get sick? All this, future-oriented thinking causes a great amount of anxiety. So I want to encourage you to, if you find yourself that you're what ifing, absolutely try to stop yourself. Even say to yourself, stop what ifing. When you stop what ifing, you can actually stop the amygdala from sounding its fire alarm, and you need to sort of re-engage your frontal lobe, your coping skills, your problem-solving skills rather than frontal lobe. What ifing, will help you to, if you're not what ifing, rather, it'll help you to be more present in your life. So if you can think about, when you find yourself what ifing, think about, okay, that's the future. I need to be here right now, present in my life today. This is all we've got. So remind yourself to just be present, be in the here and now, and to just be mindful. That's the best way I can say that. If you're finding that you're struggling with that, another technique that you can use to turn the amygdala off is called bilateral sound therapy. Bilateral sound, you can find, I'm going to give you a link for this in a second here, but you put your earbuds in and you turn on this type of music, and sometimes it's nature sounds, and you'll notice that the sound goes from one ear to the next and one ear to the next. And when you close your eyes and you listen to bilateral sound, you'll find that your eyes actually track that movement of the sound, and that creates a certain kind of brain wave and crossing the 2 hemispheres of your brain. And when that calming brain wave happens, the amygdala turns itself off. So it's kind of like the music can't really be working with the amygdala, so one has to be on where the other doesn't, and the amygdala always turns itself off. My favorite way of getting bilateral sound is by David Grand. I'm going to show you his information here, if you can see that. Bilateral sound music by David Grand. You can find this on YouTube, and he's my favorite. I use his work in my therapy with my clients all the time. Again, I just find his product to be one of the best out there, so that's who I recommend. And again, as you close your eyes, and it's usually about 6 minutes or so, and you listen to this music going back and forth, your eyes will track it, you begin to feel an incredible sense of calm and peace, and that turns the amygdala off. And then you take your earbuds off, and you'll notice that you feel much more relaxed. It's a form of meditation, essentially. Meditation works great as well, but this is very, very fast. Usually within 3 to 6 minutes, you can have returned to being mindful and present in your day. So if that doesn't work for you, or you feel like you just need more, don't forget that all of your mental health providers out there now are doing this telemedicine, and you can probably get a provider right away. So if you feel like you do need to talk to someone, let us know. Get out there and let us know. Best way to find a therapist in your neighborhood is to go to psychologytoday.com, and there'll be a link there to find a therapist. You just simply, you can even just Google psychologytoday.com or Psychology Today, find a therapist. And you'll see that on that web page, there's a place to punch in your zip code or your city name, and immediately it'll populate with all the therapists that are in your town. And you can connect with them via telemedicine. We're using lots of different platforms, so I'm sure they'll have one that'll work for you. So those are my quick tips for getting through this, this pandemic and this time. You know, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can certainly put them on my website. You can go to my website, drberg.com, and you can send me an email with your questions. I'm happy to answer them. But it's been great talking to you, and if you can remember these few things, I hope that you'll feel a little more sane and less overwhelmed. And again, that bilateral sound will keep you centered and down and calm and in positive mood. So I'm Mary Berg, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Bye.